I can't really remember back to a time when I wasn't painting or drawing. Both of my grandmothers were quite creative artists, always working with their hands, and they nurtured the same inclinations in me. And I was encouraged by some very good art teachers throughout my education. In college, though, I discovered how much I enjoyed looking at other artists' creations, and I eventually set aside my own painting and focused instead upon taking care of other people's work. I always thought, however, that one day I might get the urge to return to my own paintings, and that did eventually happen. Most of my work is based upon a grid, as I find it to be a clear path for creating order out of chaos. It's also important to me that the work has an underlying emotional content. It is not simply pure abstraction. To that end, I've been working with a variety of themes. A series of weavings springs from the very simple, yet universal, concept of the intimate relationship between love and loss. In order to have love in your life, it's essential to accept the fact that will also go hand in hand with loss of some sort or another. I usually do a preparatory drawing prior to laying out the composition for the painting. I work on panel, as I like the absolute flatness and smoothness of the panel surface. My painting materials and techniques derive from my work as a painting's restorer. After the pencil drawing is in place, a gouache underpaint is applied as a light, flat color. The painting is then varnished, and the final work is done with a synthetic resin-based paint. This two-step painting process lends depth and vibrancy to the visual effects on the surface. Recently, I've been working with incorporating specific mythological themes into the work, and I've also turned to Old Master paintings, which I know well, as subjects for reflection. So this is Poussin's abduction of the Sabine women, very famous painting in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. And it's a battle scene where the men are coming in and really abducting all of the women, taking them away from their homeland. And one of the things that struck me about it was this compositional strength of the vertical and horizontal and the diagonal all playing together in this landscape or this cityscape. And so what I mused on was really the strength of this red figure who's overseeing the entire scene, and then the abduction of this figure in blue. Those are the two primary characters, which I'm echoing in the blue and the red here. And then Poussin puts this strong diagonal from the lower right-hand corner of this figure in bright yellow, and wielding a very sharp knife, a dagger really, and that is really pointing right into the scene and into the scene of chaos that's going on there. And then the architecture, which is what I've tried to imitate here, this really strong diagonal, violent diagonal moving into the composition. He uses the cityscape as a way of kind of locking everything in place. The columns, the vertical movement of the land, and then the vertical movement of the building in the background. And that's what I tried to do with these woven aspects, going through, really giving the violence of the composition a grid in which to lie. And then I've used a sky and a ground behind it to echo the sense of landscape and depth that we have in the original. In all of the work, I try to incorporate the tension and the contradiction between the reality of the absolute flatness of the surface and the illusion of space.